This is Erin Elizabeth Ann Stratman, a registered nurse in Virginia who has been arrested and charged with malicious wounding and child abuse that caused serious injury because premature infants in the NICU under her care experienced unexplainable fractures. Yeah, she's been charged with breaking bones of little boy infants, and she's been doing it for about 2 years so far, at least we know. Now, the case that kind of brought this all to the public light happened in November of 2024. Erin worked at Henrico Doctors Hospital NICU. The assault in November caused the hospital actually shut down the NICU in December and bring in people to do an internal investigation starting on Christmas Eve. The hospital actually released a statement in late November. December, we discovered that 3 babies in our Henrico Doctors Hospital NICU had unexplainable fractures similar to an incident involving 4 babies in the summer of 2023. We're only hearing anything about this now because of this man, Dominique Hackey, and he actually decided to come out publicly about this recently. His twin sons, Micah and Noah, were born last summer, and they were a part of the original incident. Dominique reported this to Child Protective Services in September of 2023 after one of his twin sons fractured his tibia. Now, if that seems like a pretty weird injury, it is. As you can see, your tibia kind of connects your knee to your ankle, and it's pretty weird for a small child to have that injury considering they can't walk or run. At the time of the attack, Dominique actually contacted his grandmother, who used to be a NICU nurse, and she told him that that injury does not sound normal, and she reported the hospital to Child Protective Services too. Now, the hospital did their own investigation, and they said what could have happened was that the break happened because someone was too rough when they were giving the baby an injection since they were premature. The hospital actually closed their investigation and called it an accident. Dominique took home his baby boys and tried to put it all behind him. Then in the middle of 2024, he got a call that made his blood boil. After investigating for almost a year, Child Protective Services said that his son had been criminally abused, and they had shared this information with the local police as well as the other parents who had filed with CPS too. Dominique was actually contacted by the county police in October of 2024, and an officer confirmed that there were other cases at the same hospital. Erin Stratman is currently not employed at the hospital anymore. Public records show that she attained her license in May of 2019, but we don't actually know how long she worked for the hospital. We know that she worked there at least since summer of 2023. She is facing 10 years for felony child neglect and 20 years for malicious wounding, and she is currently being held without bond at the Henrico County Regional Jail West. The New York Times reached out for a comment on Saturday, but got no response from her attorney. Dominique actually released some of these images to the press showing what happened to his son Noah. You can see he has a tiny little baby cast on his leg. When Dominique spoke to Fox News Digital on Friday, after learning about Erin's arrest, he said, "Finally, we can get some answers as to who abused our son. I wish I could say it was a happy moment learning of her arrest. However, learning the details involving all of the other babies, I only feel sadness and regret. I am heartbroken to learn the degree in what this person was allowed to get away with and regret that I should have spoken up sooner in hopes to prevent other children from getting hurt." There's been a lot of anger in Virginia as parents are wondering what was the hospital doing, and it turns out they weren't being entirely passive over the last 2 years. See, while it's possible that premature babies might experience some kind of fracture because they are very small and fragile, the hospital decided that this felt a little weird, and so they actually decided to increase security to the NICU unit. Honestly, that newly installed security system might have actually stopped more of these crimes from being committed. As of right now, the Henrico County Police have reopened all of the cases from 2023 and 2024 where a child was injured in the hospital at all. This is going to be a very lengthy investigation as they look through roughly 17,500 hours of video footage in the neonatal unit. As of today, we know of 7 of the victims, but there may already be more that they've discovered. The police have decided not to release the news of any new victims yet until they learn more. There's also a limitation in terms of sharing more with the public due to healthcare privacy laws and needing consent from the parents. We only know so much about this case because Dominique Hackey decided to just release this information on his own. Thankfully, both Micah and Noah made it through their time in the NICU. Noah recovered quite easily, and Honestly, Dominic says that these two are running both he and his wife ragged, but they're very healthy, happy little boys. However, if you gave birth at the Henrico Doctors Hospital and your infant experienced any kind of strange injury while you were there, you should contact detectives. You can contact them at police@henrico.gov. You can go to p3tips.com or simply call the Crime Stoppers at 804-780-1000. You should also call if you know any details about the suspect that could help the case.